Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Malik here representing Team JVS. Here, you guys, another movie review. The name of this film is called After the Hunt. This is starring the amazing Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, Io from The Bear, and Michael Stuhlbarg playing the role of Frederick. And I'll get to Frederick very soon because he's one of my favorite characters in this one. Let's go ahead and kind of get down to it. So the background of this film, Julia Roberts' character, Alma, she is approaching tenured. She is a professor teaching English. Andrew Garfield's character, Hank, he's pretty much a professor's assistant. And Io's character, Maggie, is one of the students that is underneath Julia Roberts' character, Alma. And the husband is Frederick, played by Michael. During the course of the film, the person Frederick does a really good job of kind of outlining the different issues and the things that need to be brought up to Alma as a character. And case in point is Hank and Maggie. Hank is somebody that she's really close to and she's given a lot of her emotional attention to. And then Io's character, Maggie, is very much so smitten inwardly and outwardly about the idea of Alma as a character. And she plays into that. She's playing into both of these characters to pivot. And from his perspective, that is something that could become very messy. And messy is very much so what this movie is. If you had to give it 2 words, I would say very messy. And other word I would say is at times very pretentious. And that in and of a nutshell is the way you can define it. But I'm going to go and talk about the things I really loved about this. This film, from an acting standpoint, Julia Roberts is one of her best that she's had in a very long time. And I think that with Io and with Andrew Garfield's character, they do so much with their nonverbals. Of course, there's a lot of spewing conjecture going back there from a philosophical standpoint, and a lot of like mediocrity kind of being thrown shade to, making it very messy, not just platonic wise, but their nonverbals and the things they convey with their faces and their interactions and their body languages, on top of the fact that they have a great DP in Malik, they capture so much, whether it is different moments aesthetically from their face, uncomfortable conversations that happen towards the back of them without seeing the other person in the frame. And just in general, they are impactful, dynamic actors. So every single time, they have to be able to fuel great chemistry, and they do. And it's kind of just like, that is one of the highlights of this film, even more so than like the character Michael. The character Michael loves so much Julia Roberts' character Alma, and yet at the same time, he cannot have all of her. And so it causes him to do different things, whether it's cooking, whether it's talking about different things, whether it's being nonsensical, whether it's listening to music. And those different things allow you, it's almost like you're actually Frederick in this, and you're navigating the course that is Alma and where the trajectory is just going to go. And it just keeps getting off kilter every time. And it's so engaging. And I think that Michael does such a great job of showing a lot of character progression without a lot of dialogue. I mean, the things that he say are very profound, but it's also his nonverbals as well that he's able to convey so much emotion with as well. Now, I think that with Aya's character, Maggie, they do a lot with her, but it's more so about the mystery of who do you trust. And I think that lends to Io's situation, but at the same time it does not, because you don't really fully get a full understanding of who Maggie is outside of the surface. And I think those are some of the negatives. And I feel the same like way about the character Hank, played by Andrew Garfield. Like, there are certain levels to this that you can see, you can feel it, but you don't really know it. And I think that the movie itself, and that's why it kind of goes into the lane of pretentious, there's a lot of conjecture that's thrown, and there's a lot of mystery that's thrown. And that mystery side of things, where you don't know who to trust, you don't know what story is being told the right way. And there's certain thing that actually happens in this that changes the trajectory of all of this. But that also bodes for more mystery, intrigue, and curiosity. And you chase that. And that's the thing that fuels you to keep going. But unfortunately, once you get to the payoff line, the movie that's the only other real negative for me, is that it goes a little bit over long. It continues to push a specific narrative, and it kind of beats it over your head at times, which is interesting because all the things that you're seeing visually are amazing. You're getting you capture all their emotions. You're capturing all the different aesthetic things and the things you need to pay attention to understand where the narrative is actually going. And it's captured well. It's framed really well. It's acted really, really well. It's just the story itself, it doesn't lend you to want to repeat watch. I mean, I think that outside of understanding kind of the levels of the mystery, once you get the mystery of understanding what's really happening, what really happened, I think you may go back to really watch to kind of get understanding of some of the character dynamics. But outside of that, is what you get. Now, does this mean that this film is a bad film? I do not think so. I think it's actually a decent film. I think it's just certain things and dynamics that it does not lend it for repeated viewing. And there's certain hurdles that you have to kind of overshow outside of the great acting and outside of the framing and outside of even decent score as well. Score is actually pretty decent with this as well. But I would rest this at a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. The things that I highlighted are really good. Things that I did not care for, I think that those things are really going to be noticeable, whether it's an audience person or any general perspective on the film. But I think it is worth watching for all the things that I highlighted that are actually really good. And I can't wait to talk a little bit more about some things that I can't talk about right now in regards to the film, but you'll see it a little bit later on. When you see it, you'll know. But again, Michael's character, Frederick's my favorite character. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Thank you guys so much for sticking with this. I'll talk to you guys soon. Make sure you go and check out some of our discussions, interviews, also on our TikTok, because we've got a lot of things up there as well, in addition to our different places where we see this video. All right. Peace, guys.